guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm going to be going through my goddess decks. I'm not somebody who has worked with the goddess for like my whole life. This has more been something like recently, probably the last like 6 or 7 years or so. But the goddess was just not something that I resonated with, but now that's mainly who I work with now. So so I have about 15 decks to show you guys because you guys seem to present interest in wanting to see other goddess decks that I have. I did a deck review on it was the Legendary Ladies Goddess deck, and everybody seemed to enjoy it, and people were wondering if I had any other goddess decks. I was like, heck yeah, I do. So I'm not going to go through all of the cards in every deck because then we'd be here forever, and plus most of these cards, these decks, I've done reviews of, so definitely check out my playlist on deck reviews. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of these decks, and yeah, maybe you'll see something that maybe fits your fancy. So the first one we have is Journey to the Goddess Realm deck, and this is by Lisa Porter. And you know, these decks, they don't have like obviously every single goddess of every single culture, but I do think it's a good jumping off point, you know, to kind of look into different cultures, different deities and beliefs and things like that. So these are absolutely gorgeous. Like, I love the artwork. The guidebook's also pretty good as well. And I like a lot of these guidebooks, again, for their jumping off points. If there's like a certain deity that you're connecting with and you're like, you know, I want to know more about this one, you know, I think those guidebooks are helpful for that. Okay, so that is the Journey to the Goddess Realm by Lisa Porter. I think I got this one a few years ago, and it's a great deck. Okay, the Legendary Ladies Goddess deck. This is the one I literally just did a deck review of. Like I said, I've done a review of probably most of these decks, so if you're actually interested, because you're interested in getting the deck, check out my deck reviews playlist. But yeah, I love the artwork of this one because it reminds me of like 50s, 60s like children's book artwork, and that's just my style. And Ocean, can we just say she's gorgeous? Yes. The guidebook in this one is very minimal. It's again more just like, here's a brief synopsis of the goddess, and then you can kind of do your own investigative work after that. The next one that we have is the Earth Warriors Oracle, and this one doesn't just have goddesses. So some of the decks I have, I picked because they have goddesses in them, even though it's not like fully a goddess deck. The guidebook, awesome. I don't use this one very often because I feel like it's a heavy hitter. So when I'm having something very specific going on, then this is the deck that I turn to. So you can see, like, it says Circle Cross of Tanan. It might not be all goddesses. Well, we have this one, the White Buffalo Woman, Totemic Puma. It's Wally. So yeah, there's not all goddesses, but there's a lot of goddesses. And actually the goddess that's missing from all of these decks right now is Ishel, and that's because she is on my altar, and that is because I'm working with her now. She called out to me loud and clear probably about 5 days ago. So so I'm working with her right now, and so there's a beautiful depiction of her, but she's on my altar, and I didn't want to take her off of my altar. But yes, this one is just, the energy connected to it is just off the charts. But this is definitely one to look into. The next one is the Love Your Inner Goddess. You know, I've talked about in my live chats that, and my other videos as well, and this is by Alana Fairchild. And actually, this one was by Alana Fairchild as well. Did I not mention Ann Shen? Ann Shen is the artist for that one. But I believe that, the divine is in us. And so when we talk about the god, the goddess, when I talk about divine feminine, divine masculine, I'm not talking about boys and girls, male and female, man and woman. I'm talking about a particular type of energy. And so there are men who could have the divine feminine. There are women like myself. I worked with divine masculine. I worked with gods for pretty much my whole life leading up until like I said, 6 or 7 years ago. And that was just because there was some trauma I had to heal around being a female. So now that I've been working on that, I'm all about the goddess. So this one is about loving your inner goddess, and that actually this was what helped me to heal the goddess within me. So definitely check this one out too, because I believe we are part of the divine. We are part of source energy too. We might be in these human forms, but inside of us is this bright, just gorgeous light. There's this divine light in us, both masculine and feminine. And this is a great one to tap into, that divine feminine energy, that goddess energy that we all have. So there is that one. And usually this is one that, if I just need some love, some self-love, that's the deck that I pull out. This other one, Goddesses and Sirens, this is by Stacey DeMarco. And Jimmy Manton has some very interesting artwork. Like his is more like intense. Like you'll see in just a moment. I also have my Ishel card from this deck up on my altar. But you'll see everything just looks like intense, sexual, like raw, like warrior goddess, even if they're not a warrior goddess. And there is a keyword with all of them. I think that Jimmy Manton has some fantastic artwork. And again, another great guidebook as well. So, hey, Baba Yaga. There's some people working with her lately. Okay, so yes, another fabulous deck. This one also easily found on the Amazons. That's your Goddesses and Sirens. I also have the Gods and Titans deck too, and sometimes I use them in tandem. Okay, let's see. And then we are moving on to the Gospel of Aradia. And this one is interesting because people don't know for sure, like historians don't know for sure if she was an actual living person, and all these myths are just kind of like surrounding her, or she was an actual goddess. Like they're not sure. I'm saying maybe she was both. Maybe she was maybe she was a goddess in human form, and then she like transcended and became like just regular old goddess again and not a human goddess. So this one's very interesting, just based on Aradia, if you are interested in her. So a lot of beautiful colors, beautiful imagery. I love Stacey DeMarco decks. Okay, so moving on to another one that's just specific to a particular goddess, and that is the Isis Oracle. And this is by Alana Fairchild. And I've been working with and loving with anything ancient Egypt since probably like I was 3 or 4 years old. Beautiful backings, beautiful phrases. I have to use actually the guidebook quite a bit with this one. I mean, I could read it intuitively, but I prefer using the guidebook with this particular deck. And some decks are like that. I just I love the messages that are in the guidebook. So I kind of mesh my intuition with the guidebook. So if you like to work with Isis, this is another gorgeous deck. Okay, let's see, moving on to another goddess specific deck, and that is the Wild Kuan-Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Kuan-Yin, yes, definitely one that I work with, been working with her probably for about, let me think about this, like 13 years, maybe? Wow, it's kind of been a long time. but I love the imagery. Just it just gives me such a different perspective of Kuan-Yin. It's so beautiful, and I love using this for meditation. So if you're working with Kuan-Yin, or you're thinking about working with Kuan-Yin, this is definitely a great deck to dive into that with, especially if you're young at heart like I am. And this is more like that free child, wild spirited Kuan-Yin that I love to connect with. So that is a great deck for that. Like I said, I probably have like full-on reviews where I go through each card one by one in my deck reviews playlist, you know, so you can get a better look at the cards. Okay, this next one is another Kuan-Yin one, but I would say this is older Kuan-Yin. This is a little more sophisticated. She hasn't quite gone into like an older woman, but I'd say she's like in her teens and 20s in this one. Again, oh, those backings. This one, also one that I use the guidebook with, just because I find the guidebook to be absolutely wonderful. Oops, let me just lower the saturation on this one so you guys can see how beautiful it is. Also great for meditation. Love journaling with it. Heck yeah, Kuan-Yin, she's been my girl for a little while. I have a little statue of her on my altar. Okay, getting into my what looks like a VHS box. If you remember VHS, you're too old. No. Then I'm calling myself old. Yes, I am. No, we're not old. We are wise. That's what we're calling ourselves. We are wise. We are wise. This one I had to get all the way from Germany because it's out of print here, and I was able to get it for like, I don't know, $10. And I'm so excited. And it was like at a used bookstore in Germany. It was missing one card, but no, do not fret, because I was able to find the front and the back, or no, I was able to find the image of that card, which was the tarot card, which is, you know, the irony is not lost on me. It's my name. And I just like scanned the back of one of these cards. I put it on photo paper. I glued it together with, like the quick glue, and you can't really tell that I was missing a card. So I was able to, yay! I was like, no, it's missing a card, but I was able to put that card back into the deck. But again, gorgeous images. Let me show you the tarot card that was missing. Let's see if it's around here somewhere. Ooh, Mother Mary card's also really gorgeous. Oh, there it is. So see, I mean, it doesn't look that much different than all the rest of the cards. So I was able to get the saturation and everything right on my printer. And then I just photocopied basically the back. So, and I just put it together with some crazy glue, and now I have a card again, and it's on nice photo paper, and it's got the same sheen as the rest of the cards. I did good. So maybe that's just an idea, you know, if you get a deck and it's out of print, it's not like you can get another copy of it. Maybe you just make your own card. So that's what I did. But yeah, I love working with this deck. I know most of these goddesses, so I can use like some books that I have here in my bookcase if I need more information about a particular goddess, or I could just use Google Translate, you know, how you can take a photo of the words that you don't know, and you know, I can translate what it says in the guidebook. The guidebook is good, you know, it's in German, but when I translate it into English, you know, it's good. Okay, let's see, moving on. Ooh, we're getting into the Divine Feminine. So this is Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson, and the artwork is by Lisbeth Cheever Gesseman. Let's take this out. So this one has both like goddesses and saints and well, like I said, it's the divine feminine. So so there we go. There's like another like Isis and Joan of Arc. This is another wonderful deck. Oh my goodness, the images. Like, I love their faces. This is definitely gorgeous. Hey, it's me. So yeah, if like I said, you're working with the divine feminine, the goddess, which is why you're probably here looking at all these decks. That's one to check out. This next one, of course, for a while when it first came out, there was the controversy of this deck, and this is one by Colette Baron-Reid, Goddess Power. And the reason there was controversy is because what Colette Baron-Reid and her artist were looking for was if you could just take regular people, any race, and apply the goddess to them. And it was to kind of show that the goddess is within all of us. And that was kind of the direction they were going. Like here we have Isis. And obviously, maybe that doesn't look like an Egyptian woman, but they weren't trying to go for this is what Isis looks like, or this is what this goddess looks like. They were trying to go for, you just have your everyday woman, like whatever race she is, whatever cultural background she is, and the goddess could live within her. But I think a lot of people had problems with that. They kind of wanted to see a culturally accurate goddess. I still think the images are very pretty. And the energy is awesome as well. I love the keywords. I think it's great. Okay. All right, we're down to the last 3 people. And this one is by Kyle Gray. This is the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards. And although, yes, there are men in this deck, there are goddesses. So like I said, I picked some of the decks because maybe they may not be like fully a goddess deck. There are some goddesses in there. So this one's like a mixture of like divine masculine and feminine. And I know I've done a review of this one, so if you're interested, definitely go check out that review. I love the keywords. I love the like messages down at the bottom of the cards. It's great. And ooh, can we talk about shiny things? Okay, so let me just put these cards back inside the box. So this one's a little harder to get the cards back in the box just because the guidebook and everything. Such a tight fit. Okay, then we're going on to the Mystic Sisters. Again, not everybody in here is a goddess. There's a good amount of goddesses. Also, just wow with the images, and the guidebook is really good too. I appreciate a good guidebook, you know. So yeah, so pretty. Okay, and it looks like we're down to the last one, which is the Goddess Guidance Oracle, and that is by Doreen Virtue. I don't think I have many Doreen Virtue decks left. I think I have 2 that I connect with, and then I donated the rest. But okay, so this one I still think has some wonderful goddess energy to it. You know, great images, great messages. And a lot of these goddesses, like I'll use them in readings, but also if I'm working with a particular one, like I am now with Ishtar, or not Ishtar, but Ishel, then I will put their card from like every deck I can find on my altar. Speaking of Ishtar. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away. All right, you guys, those were all of my goddess decks that I own. You know, like I said, I've not been working with the Divine Feminine, with the goddess, for I guess all that long in comparison to how long I've been alive, you know, 6 or 7 years or so. But I have been loving being able to mesh what I had been working with, which is the Divine Masculine and gods, and mixing it with goddesses. And I've just been feeling more balanced in my life, I guess, you know, since I've been doing that. And like I said, right now I'm working with Ishel, and I'm super excited to see where that takes me. But yeah, I have a video as well called How Do You Know When Signs That Deity Wants to Work with You. So I will put a little like card up there if you guys are interested in that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this, you know, just kind of looking at some beautiful artwork, or maybe there were some decks that piqued your interest. So definitely check out my playlist on deck reviews so that you can see like a full walkthrough of that deck. And yeah, I will catch you spiritual homies later. If you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com. I have my room and body sprays, I have my salves, I have one bracelet left that I make, and I have my witch kits. I believe I'm down to just my love spell kit, so definitely check that out. And oh, also I have my Wally's World Oracle, so if you're interested, go ahead and check out my little Wally Wallyto. This was a community created and community funded deck. And on my website you can sign up for my newsletter, which I hit your inbox one time a month. That is all, with nothing else, no other spam, just newsletter. My newsletter, I do a DIY, witchy DIY, like crafty DIY. The spell that I might be doing, crystal I might be using, YouTube channel I'm watching, tea that I'm drinking, book that I'm reading, deck that I'm using, so on and so forth. So if that interests you, please sign up. And if you want to throw a little love my way so I can continue to put out fun and entertaining videos for you guys, then join that KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittenswaitsandtarot. For as little as $1, you get weekly channeled messages as well as a host of other goodies. So definitely check it out. And I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.